Welcome back to the KR Daily Transmission. My name is Kaia, and I'm the author of the Sophia Code. It's my great pleasure to be here with you today. And this week, I'm introducing some of our brilliant certified Sophia Circle leaders who are activating the sovereign divinity of humanity alongside us, co-leading this international movement with the Sophia Code. I'm just like bubbling up with excitement to have this conversation with one of our certified leaders named Aaliyah Sophia, who's joining us live today from Connecticut. And I just have to say, Aaliyah, like how much I have enjoyed getting to know you over the past few years in the Sophia Code movement at our live events, in our curriculums, and most recently in our journey together with the wild dolphins in Bimini. I'd love to welcome you to today's show.
Thank you so much, Kaia.
And if you could just put a warm welcome and hello as well in the comments and the chat, welcoming Aaliyah Sophia to today's KR Daily Transmission. That's just a loving thing to do, to celebrate these leaders who are sharing the Sophia Code worldwide. Aaliyah, I would love for you to share, how did you find the Sophia Code?
I was tuning into the Carrie Murphy show in either 2017 or 2018. And yeah, I heard you, and just listening to you talk about it completely captivated my attention. And I hadn't read the book, I hadn't come across it, and you were offering a live event in LA. And I actually flew out to LA for the live event and then flew home that same night. I just felt like so compelled to dive in.
Was that the Wings Up event that we did in Los Angeles?
No, it was before that. It was at the Women's Center in Santa Monica, maybe?
Oh my God, you were at the Santa Monica event?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's incredible. That was a turning point event for us as a movement.
Wow.
That's amazing that you were there. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And then what happened with your journey with the Sophia Code? What was your next step with the mystery school and the movement? What happened from there?
Yeah, it just opened a whole portal, and I started working with the text, and I purchased the Stargate 1 and Stargate 2 curriculums. It was like a bundle. So I started going through Stargate 1, and yeah, and then just continued to attend live events and yeah, grow into it all.
So were you a part of the original cohort that first year for Sophia Circle Leadership? How did that unfold for you?
Yeah, I didn't have an intention of joining, and then I just got like very strong guidance that I needed to sign up for it, even if I didn't have like the bigger picture of where I would take it.
The why. There was just a strong intuitive impulse that this was calling you forward. When you began the program, the live mentorship certification program, what was the moment that you realized that the lights started to turn on as to why you were doing this leadership program?
Yeah, I think the lights turned on pretty quickly with the live calls and just working through the first few modules. And then I think I actually got scared by the bigness of that and the visibility and everything that would come with it. And then I just like kind of hit a wall and put it all down for a few months, and then came back to it later on in the year. Yeah.
I love that you're sharing so authentically about that, because that happens a lot with people with their relationship with the Sophia Code as a mystery school, as a sacred text. It's so profoundly activating. It can cause such rapid growth and such rapid personal expansion in every direction of your life simultaneously. You do come up against those vulnerable edges of just how big your soul is, your connection to God is, your divine purpose, your leadership, and it can be very affronting. So how powerful that you knew, okay, I need to pause and integrate. And then what called you back to the material?
I think it was just that same calling, that same thread of calling, that I felt ever since I found you and found the Sophia Code, of just divine knowing that this is like a very central part of my path. And yeah, just knowing that with all the resistances and fears and all the things that were coming up, still knowing that I was committed to finishing, within the year time frame to become a Sophia Circle
Yeah,
leader.
and there's that whole year because we have the live
Hmm.
classes, but you have an entire year beyond the live classes to complete the certification program. And I, from everything that I've personally experienced of witnessing community members go through these live curriculums, it's like the live curriculum journey. It does take about a year to integrate how much activation is
Hmm.
happening. So that's really cool that you leaned into knowing you had some
Yeah.
space there for your process. Um, I love that you brought up this understanding of how big your divine purpose is. This calling to be seen in your leadership and how much that scared you.
Hmm.
And yet you hung in there and you came back. It's almost like a baseball player coming back up to the home base to come up to bat again. Like you came up to bat again. You wanted to keep swinging.
Hmm.
Tell me a little bit about, what were the modules that really inspired you, or the key code mentors in the certification program? What was some of the content that like really lit your fire to move beyond the fear and step into revealing who you are?
Yeah, I remember the module that focused on the inner child. That must have been the Kuan Yin module, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that one felt very supportive of like bringing my inner child into it and really, yeah, giving her what she needed and letting her be a part of it. And then I remember the White Buffalo Woman module also being very powerful and connecting with the earth and really resourcing the earth for my leadership also. And yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It's been amazing to witness you in our mystery school courses because you are such a dedicated learner. Like you're such a dynamic learner. Like you really take things in, you soak in it, you marinate it, and then you practice embodying it. And um, I remember meeting you like really directly face to face in that first VIP immersive
Hmm.
that we did for, and I believe that was the first VIP immersive where we started to shift into like it's only for Sophia Circle leaders because we
Hmm.
identified that the lightning transmission of the VIP immersives was just too intense for people that weren't initiated in the Sophia Code teachings. And so you
Hmm.
were a part of that transition for us as a platform. And I remember you taking the stage and standing in your power and workshopping with us live, very much like how we're about to do in Sedona, the step up to the mic sessions that we do now for our live events. And to witness the depth of what you survived in your personal journey, how much you've had to overcome, and now how you so boldly stand in your leadership today. Is the spectrum is so vast. Would you like to speak to those who are considering Sophia Circle leadership and share from your perspective of that journey from trauma to soul power? Like how the Sophia Code mystery school curriculums, how this leadership has helped you move beyond the pain of that trauma.
Yeah, it's been so powerful and just the depth of the support. And it just feels like in each, because it isn't an overnight transformation or, a light
Right.
switch that just gets flipped on. It really is like an ongoing moment by moment, year by year endeavor. And it just feels like at every step I've been at and every step I've taken, that the resources that I've needed have just been there.
Mm.
Because there's so much available between the Stargate 1 and the Stargate 2 and transforming trauma and Sophia Circle leadership. And yeah, I just keep finding myself going back also, especially to the transforming trauma, the soul power.
Resourcing those curriculums to support your Sophia
Hmm.
Circle leadership. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that whole mystery, every curriculum in the mystery school creates this quantum blueprint for personal, like full personal empowerment. And it's really
Hmm.
cool to hear you share about that for yourself. So tell me a little bit about who you leaned into. Which ascended masters did you lean into to complete this Sophia Circle leadership certification? Like, who did you draw upon for strength and
Yeah.
guidance?
I would say I felt Mother Mary and Isis the strongest. Like Mother Mary very
Yes.
much as just that strong maternal figure. and the nurturing. Like, I think I really needed the nurturing piece to
Yeah.
just soothe myself to get through it. And then Isis would come in with just her strength and her wings, and I think a mirror to me, like my own power and what I'm capable of, and standing in that power and being seen. And yeah, so that was a very powerful duo for me.
I love how those 2 work together.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people don't understand that Mother Mary was initiated in Egypt, even from her earliest
Hmm.
childhood, um, in the different mystery school lineages. And so her connection with Isis is just as strong as Mary Magdalene's connection
Hmm.
with Isis. And um, yeah, I love that you're speaking to how they co-create together to mentor us in our empowerment. So as you were you're getting ready for your first Sophia Circle journey, like, what was coming up for you? Like, how did you navigate that first journey? What was it like for you?
yeah, I had a lot coming up. I finished the program, and then a year passed before I actually started my first journey. Um, so um, I think just trust, like leaning into trust that I was going to magnetize the right people, or any people that anyone was going to want to join this and journey with me,
Yeah.
um, was an edge. And then once I actually like just leaned in and kind of surrendered and really said yes to doing it and started speaking about it, then the group just came together.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know being from the East Coast, I am originally from the East Coast, so I know, the spiritual kind of temperature of the East Coast is not necessarily as warm as the West Coast. I know things are changing
Mhm.
rapidly, but over the past 10 years, people really associate more progressive spirituality with the West Coast. So, how has it felt
Mhm.
to be a Sophia Circle leader on the East Coast and be surprised that there are people, wanting to connect with the Sophia Code teachings, wanting to mentor with the Ascended
Right.
Masters? Has that been healing for you? Has it
Yeah.
transformed your ideas about the reality of Connecticut and New England?
Mhm. Yeah, it feels amazing to know that, yeah, that my people are here, that the people are who are looking for this and wanting it are here also, that they aren't just in other places around the world.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love that. Um, so let's talk a little bit about, what unfolded for you in that first journey.
Mhm.
So for those of you who are just joining our conversation for the first time, a Sophia Circle journey includes 13 gatherings that's facilitated by a certified leader, such as Aaliyah Sophia, and they walk you through all 13 chapters of the Sophia Code in a dynamic, multidimensional community learning experience. And that learning that is happening directly with the ascended masters of the Sophia Dragon Tribe. So, what our certified leaders are trained in is how to facilitate sacred sovereign space for your direct experience with these ascended masters through the Sophia Code teachings. It's it's extraordinary. And so, these certified leaders that are on my official directory at kaia.com, these are the individuals that I trust the most in the Sophia Code movement. These are the individuals that I would love for you to connect with and to go on these Sophia Circle journeys with through the Sophia Code, because they have been so highly initiated into how to mentor with the Ascended Masters, and most importantly, how to get out of the way so that source energy can meet you directly where you're at. And so, Aaliyah, I would just love for you to share, what was that like for you to discover this sovereign facilitation of sacred space for the first time, for your first Sophia Circle
Oh,
journey?
it was such a relief. It just felt so amazing that that is possible, that I can really be just completely held and resourced by the Ascended Masters and Sophia, and that all I need to do is show up to create that space, and then trust that each person is being met exactly where they need to be met by Sophia and the Ascended Masters and their higher self, and that they're receiving everything that they need to be receiving. And it doesn't have to be coming directly through me, that I don't need to be hyper vigilant. I think that's been a thing for me in the past, of like tracking each person and trying to meet each person's needs, which is exhausting and kind of sucks the joy out of the whole experience.
Right. And it's a normal it's a normal pattern for those who have survived
Mm-hmm.
trauma, is that hypervigilance. So I love what you're sharing here. You're saying like, oh my gosh, it's returning the joy of leadership back to me. And
Mm-hmm.
then number two, it's also simultaneously, healing up this pattern of hypervigilance so you can relax
Mm-hmm.
into your trust of God, your spiritual guides, your higher self, and their direct connection with source, their direct connection with these mentors, because that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's about sovereign awakening for each of these individuals. That's so cool. And so how did you start to notice that it was impacting some of your other professional light work offerings the more that you led these Sophia circles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's impacting everything because I had like a very strong thread of codependency that's kind of gone through every aspect of my life. And I just noticed as I've gone through this journey how that's shifted in all of the other places in my life also.
Oh my
But
God,
it's
that's so
kind of
exciting.
recalibrating. Yeah.
Shifting from codependency into sovereignty.
Hmm.
Ah,
Gradually, not not entirely
yep.
all across the board, but yeah.
And that's really what we teach in the Sophia Code Mystery School. It's that one self-loving step at a time. It's just a daily
Hmm.
practice mentoring with these ascended masters, showing up to our leadership. We become our true selves, our most
Hmm.
authentic self, because we're being informed by our higher self instead of all of our programming and trauma, and practicing what it's like to live from that perspective. So share a little bit about, if you wouldn't mind, like as you completed your first journey, what evolved for you as a leader?
I just feel more willingness to show up. Like I really was in a stuck place before
Mm,
starting Sophia Circle Leadership of like feeling this calling to be showing up and serving, but not
mm.
wanting to do it in the way that, I would have in the past. And um, yeah, it just feels like now I know, like I've proven to myself that I can show up and serve and have it be healthy for me and feel good and feel joyful and expansive. And yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. Because you're such a truthful person, and if you somatically, like you're very aligned with your heart. Like from my experience of you, it's just that you're a very pure-hearted human being, and so of course you're not going to want to dive into being seen in your divine purpose if it's not really coming from that authentic space of who you really are.
Hmm.
Ah, so good to know that Sophia Circle Leadership is supporting that for you to shine,
Hmm.
because such a special person. Um, and if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit more about, like, tell me more about your upcoming journey that I believe it's beginning September 24th.
Yes, September 24th, and I'm planning for it to be virtual. And my first journey I did over 13 months, and I really liked the spaciousness of it. And for this upcoming one, I'm thinking of doing it bi-weekly for the first section, which are like the introductory chapters, and then monthly
Yeah,
for the key code initiations.
I love that formula. I think that's
Yeah.
super creative, and it still provides a lot of spaciousness because that's
Hmm.
obviously important to you as a facilitator. The Sophia Code is incredibly activating. It's very dense, as
Hmm.
far as like compact light goes.
Hmm.
And so that really does create this beautiful journey, Sophia Circle journey, that people can go on with you over the course of an entire transformative year, really, is what you're sharing.
Yeah. And it was beautiful in my first journey just to witness the community and I think the safety that was built and having that time and spaciousness
Yes.
also for people to interact with each other and build trust and really like have time to soak in to the container and soak into the experience also and
I
feel
love
safe.
that. Was that really unique for you to witness people interacting in a new way,
Hmm.
through the Sophia Circle Journeys ministry? Share a little bit about that.
Hmm. Um, yeah, it was beautiful to witness just the trust that they came in with and the openness. And I could tell that they felt safe. And I think just from the way the circles are structured, it just there's so much safety embedded in it. And I mean, from the beginning, everyone was just going so deep and being so present and like sharing deeply when there was the opportunity to, you know, bring some of their own experiences or thoughts forward. Yeah, everyone was very deeply dropped in and respectful of each other and loving towards each other. So it was very beautiful to witness that.
Oh, what a powerful mirror for you to receive as a leader. Like,
Hmm.
you showed up and said yes, and like this is what you manifested as a mirror to your yes.
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was
And
gorgeous.
how does it feel to know that you can offer something that inspires such a depth from others?
It feels amazing. It feels really good that they're able to connect to these aspects of themselves and their
Yeah.
source connection. Yeah, and goes so deep and then be able to bring that into the other parts of their life and bring that with them going forward.
Oh, so
Yeah.
beautiful. And just share a little bit about the virtual experience. I think sometimes people wonder if they're going to have the same kind of impact in person as they would, or virtually as they would if this was in
Hmm.
person. And so, can you speak to that in your experience as a Sophia Circle leader?
Yeah. It was surprising to me how intimate it felt, how intimate and connected. It really felt different even than other like virtual platforms that I've been a part of or virtual communities. It really almost felt like we were together in the same room.
And what do you attribute that to?
I just think the whole experience, the opening meditations where we're like calling in the circle of light and surrounded by the ascended masters and Sophia and our higher selves. And there's a line in one of the opening prayers also about calling in the I am presence of the group, I think. I am
Yes,
presence of each person. And it just feels like that, I don't know, something magical happens, I feel,
that
at that point
multidimension,
also.
yeah, that multidimensional energy of the transmission is
Hmm.
bringing us together, beyond
Hmm.
space and time and beyond physical boundaries.
Hmm.
And that's always been what's so unique about the Sophia Code as a transmission. It's witnessing how multidimensional it is, which activates massive multidimensional transformation, quantum
Hmm.
change. Well, it's
Yeah.
been so amazing to connect with you today, Aaliyah. I'm so looking forward to being live with you in Sedona and getting to experience your leadership. It has been such a gift to my heart. I'm so honored to be co-leading this movement with
Mm.
you as a living angel on earth. And please go to my website and learn more about Aaliyah Sophia at kaia.com on our official directory for our certified Sophia Circle leaders. These are the individuals that I have certified, approved to walk you through the Sophia Code because they are doing it with so much love and care in their hearts for this ministry and for this movement. Thank you so much, Aaliyah Sophia, and many blessings to your journey that begins this September 2022.
Thank you so much.